Listener discretion is advised. Please see the episode description for content warnings specific to today's episode. Welcome to Rants and Rabbit Trails. I'm your host, Morgan.
And I'm your host, Pearl.
And today we have some kind of weird stories to share with you.
Surprise.
Yeah,
they're weird. I would say that these both fit into the theme of, like, mystery. Okay, wait, no, yours aren't really mystery.
Strange occurrence / maybe true crime-ish?
Yeah.
/
Mine's got a little true
conspiracies.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, hope you're doing good today. How are you doing, Pearl?
I'm doing I was gonna say spick and span. That's not
Spick
at
and
all.
Span.
My brain, spick and span. No, I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
You made me a delicious beverage.
Delicious.
In a large mason jar, which is always my favorite.
Large mason
jar.
Large mason jars will one day just replace all of my regular drinking glasses.
I literally did do that.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Fuck these other glasses. Yeah. And I just have...
I mean, I think yours used to be like some spaghetti sauce or something.
Hell yeah. Spaghetti.
But yeah,
how are you?
Good. It's a beautiful day. The cherry tree outside has cherries on it, so I guess those come out.
Happy summer, by the way. Oh my god, we didn't say that. Happy freaking solstice.
Happy summer. Solstice was a few days ago.
At long last.
By
the time you hear this, it won't be anywhere close to solstice.
No.
But probably going to be... Never mind. I don't want to jinx it.
What?
I'm scared of what the weather's going to do.
Like, boiling hot, like Satan's ball sack?
I'm not scared of the weather. I'm scared of the smoke. We've talked about this before. It's coming.
Nope.
But right now it is delicious outside.
It is deliciously sunny and warm. And... yeah, the cherry tree is all like, bam, cherries popping off.
It's truly summertime.
Got some tasty drinks.
Love
and
a tasty
we're
drink.
just comfy cozy, about to tell some weird stories. So if you yourself aren't comfy cozy, get comfy cozy, settle down now, y'all. Settle down.
Like, get into whatever your task is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Are you cleaning the bathroom? I hope not. If you are, I'm
not.
Sending out a prayer for you.
Good
I'm
vibes.
so sorry.
Good vibes. Doing chores, driving, just sitting in bed, chilling out, whatever it is. We're happy that
you're joining us today.
Yeah.
We love you. Do you want me to go
settle
first, or do you want to go first?
You can go first if you want. I don't
you
care.
say settle down?
Yeah.
Settle down. Wait, what was your answer?
I said you can go first if you would like to. I don't care. I really have. I can go first.
Okay.
We'll
do a little trade-off, you know?
Switcheroo.
Yeah.
Okay.
A switcheroo, the technical term.
Yeah, the scientific terminology. Okay. That was a very haphazard opening.
I loved it.
Which is exactly up our alley.
It's on brand.
On fucking par, bro. Oh my god, did you see that? I'm so sorry. Did you see the TikTok I sent you earlier that was Jack Black?
No, not yet.
Tenacious D doing Hot Ones.
Oh my god, no. I think I have seen that, though.
And Jack Black at one point says, dude. And there's this comment that's like, I swear, like, all my ailments are cured as soon as I hear Jack Black say, dude. Anyway.
Jack Black just heals my ailments in general.
Honestly.
King.
Truly. So I guess on that note, I'm going to be talking about some conspiracy theories that turned out to be true.
Not so conspiracy-ish now, are they?
Conspiracy-ish. But on the topic of conspiracy theories, quote unquote, that turned out to be true. Quotes because they can't technically be conspiracies
Not
anymore,
conspiracies,
right?
yeah, right.
Anyhow, we've all heard our fair share of conspiracies. Some can be pretty believable, while others just sound like a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
But regardless, I want to preface again by saying a lot of theories are rooted in harmful, racist, anti-Semitic, and or just downright fucked up shit. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind when discussing these, and at the very least, I just wanted to bring attention to that as well. I do feel like I said I said to Pearl that I feel like the first half of this episode is just gonna be us shitting on America.
If you think that's gonna be the last time, you better just leave right now. If that's a problem.
Yeah, if you're upset about that.
If you, I don't know, like living in America for some reason. No, just kidding. To each their own.
But yeah, also, I feel like my contribution to this episode itself is just shitting on America because first up, we have a conspiracy revolving around the government. Surprise, surprise.
Gasp!
No.
Not my government.
Please. Crying, silent tears streaming down my face.
I'm sorry. Woo! We're good.
Oh my god, okay. So,
I'm so ready.
the government intentionally poisoned alcohol during the Prohibition to discourage people from drinking.
I literally cannot.
Like, I don't know.
Like, I never knew about this, and it's not surprising whatsoever.
No, like, if somebody said that to me, even if I hadn't researched it, and I didn't know if it was true or not, I'd be like, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That sounds like the government.
Believable. Yeah. So yeah, the truth of this conspiracy ended up being a manufacturer-inflicted issue, with the government stoking the fire. Stroking? With the government stroking. With the government stoking the flames that turned an issue that already existed into a wildfire. Because
sounds about right.
We love America. We love wildfires. We love gender reveals.
There's one thing about me. I love a gender reveal.
We love gender reveals, especially when 20,000 acres get burnt to a crisp. That just makes me so happy to live in the land of the free. And the home of the shitheads.
Home of the shit. Oh
anyway.
My god.
So, alcohol was regularly tainted or produced with whatever fucky substances and chemicals that people could find, such as industrial alcohol. I'm just like, I'm hopped up off of my iced tea.
Alcohol.
My iced tea's got me going. I'm ready to punch Nazis. I don't know what's going on. It's past 3.
I'm ready to punch Nazis.
Anyway, so alcohol was regularly tainted with shit such as industrial alcohols. And
I love the way you said that as if it was like the proper word. With shit such as.
Such as industrial alcohols and methanol.
Yum.
Tasty. So, methanol and its derivatives, including formaldehyde,
slay,
are literally. I don't know why I'm so cracked up right now.
Same. I feel like I all of a sudden got a little bit of the gigglies.
Yeah, got the zoomies. Yeah. Methanol and its derivatives are used to produce solvents, pesticides, acrylic plastic, synthetic fibers and fabrics, adhesives, paint, plywood.
Are these things I'm not supposed to be eating already? Sorry.
And it can be used as engine fuel.
Oh my god.
So, methanol was cheaper and easier to come by, so it became one of the big ones that was used to produce the alcohol that was smuggled around. This practice resulted in permanent blindness, death, obviously, and a myriad of other illnesses.
Yikes. That is some intense substances.
Yeah. So by the 1920s, over 50 plus formulas for suspicious alcohol existed. Some using the hardcore shit, others adding milder, less lethal ingredients that made it taste so gross that folks wouldn't want to drink it anymore. Crime syndicates and mobs then employed chemists to fix the alcohol and make it drinkable and enjoyable again. Thus, meat was back on the menu, boys.
Oh my god, this is so fucked up.
Yeah. So, in response to the sudden jump in alcohol consumption, the feds came up with a different idea to aid in their goal. While the cautionless and alcohol-deprived folks living during the Prohibition may have started this escapade, the federal government decided to steal the spotlight and encourage the practice by mandating the addition of poisons to alcohol in an effort to scare and discourage people from drinking it. The form of their encouragement to uphold this mandate: giving tax breaks to industrial alcohol manufacturers who poisoned their supply.
Despicable! I've said it before.
Shitheads.
Oh my god. I just love that the government is like, hey, that's not a bad idea.
You're like, what did you say is in that?
Can we pay you guys to do this for us?
That's a genius idea.
God.
Christ almighty. So, by the late 1920s, the newer formulas, so sorry, I don't know what the fuck is up, dude. The newer formulas for tainting alcohol included even more and different kinds of chemical poisons, such as kerosene, gasoline, iodine, mercury, formaldehyde, chloroform, acetone, and more.
All my favorite substances.
Woo.
Jesus.
The government also demanded that more methyl alcohol was added to the mix. They're like, that's not enough. Add more of the other shit.
No, you don't understand. We want these fuckers to die.
We want them seizing on the ground, foaming at the mouth. A quote from the Time magazine states, according to the December 26th, 1922 edition for the New York Times, 5, and other sources I found said up to 100. So
okay, 5 or
5 to 100. People were killed in the city on Christmas Day from drinking poisoned rum. By 1926, according to Prohibition by Edward Bear, 750 New Yorkers perished from such alcohol poisoning, and hundreds of thousands more suffered irreversible injuries, including blindness and paralysis.
Dude.
On New Year's Day, 1927, 41 people died at New York's Bellevue Hospital from alcohol-related poisonings. Oftentimes, they were drinking industrial methanol, which was legal at the time, but an extremely dangerous poison, obviously. One government report said that of 480,000 gallons of liquor confiscated in New York in 1927, nearly all contained poisons. End quote.
Dude. What the fuck?
That's a lot of alcohol and a lot of poison.
That's a
when alcohol
lot
is
of poison.
already a poison.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Christ.
Yikes. That is so...
Well, and you know, too, that, like, I bet, like, the upper class weren't dying.
No, I was gonna say, this is so... I mean, as with literally everything, it's always an attack on poor people.
Yeah.
It's like, we just don't want poor people to exist.
Yeah. No,
Rich people will always have access to whatever they want.
Yeah, I bet your ass that they had, like, the top shelf.
I was gonna say, they was drinking Grey Goose.
They had the fancy shit, and it's true, because, like, I remember, I wrote this one a little while ago, but I remember a lot of the sources that I found mentioned that being the case, that, like, all the people that were coming into hospitals and stumbling into hospitals, like, poisoned and shit, were people that were already commonly out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just...
It's really sad.
I don't know how many times one can say that is just fucked up. But...
Especially when you consider that, like, alcohol and drugs is what a lot of people on the street, houseless people, poor people, go to, because life is fucking sad and miserable sometimes.
Yeah.
So that just makes me really sad.
Yeah. Well, and it's just fucked up too, because I feel like that's not only the case for, you know, people in poverty or homeless people. Like, that's the case just for people in general. Like, we're always looking for something to distract us or to, like,
absolutely
take away the pain of life in general, or, you know, depression or whatever. Like, substance abuse in general, it has been around for forever, and it can affects everybody. So, like, I bet your ass too, like, the 1%ers, the rich people with the top shelf shit, they're doing the same thing. Your ass, they were doing that. They were doing, like, they were snorting cocaine, and they were getting drunk, and they were like,
yeah,
that's not,
definitely.
So, like, it's so hypocritical and horrible, like, as a society, that there's been this ideal of, like, oh, poor people just need to stop doing drugs or whatever. Like, everybody's fucking doing drugs.
We literally all do drugs.
Everybody's, like, drinking alcohol.
Most of you fuckers, like, out there, you wine moms, are full-blown alcoholics.
Fucking blown. I remember one time... I don't know if I should say that.
Yeah, also, I just want to say, I was definitely not trying to say that, like, homeless people are just doing drugs, because...
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to say it, like...
No, I didn't think you were. I just want to, like, reiterate, like... Of course, if you don't have anything else, that's often what you're going to go to. Yeah. But you are 100% right. Like, it is so hypocritical and such a nasty point of view to have, honestly, to think that there's not a reason for it, A, and that everybody else isn't doing it anyways.
Yeah, it's...
And that the government is involved.
Everybody's a hypocrite. I feel like. But yeah. New York, but blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. So New York City by 1926, over 1,000 people were sick and about 400 people perished. And the death count climbed come the new year, and the pattern continued in multiple other cities around the country, because obviously prohibition wasn't just in New York.
Right.
People weren't making fucky alcohol just in New York, you know? So 1,000 people died per year during the prohibition due to the poisoned alcohol. And by the time the prohibition ended in 1933, the federal government's poison mandate had killed at least 10,000 people.
Damn. That is a lot of people.
At least. Like, that was
it's probably way more, too.
The lower end that I had found.
Oh my god.
So...
Damn. That is some fucking wild shit.
Yeah, it's just the tippity tip of the iceberg.
I hope we have more of these government conspiracies sometime.
You know, so we can keep shitting on America. It's honestly like it is a good pastime for sure. No, but I mean, the rabbit hole of how fucked up our government is.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so deep and so dark. And I think it's really important that it's not kept in the dark. And it's uncomfortable and horrible. And people need to know about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of people are so, even if they do hear about these, quote, conspiracies, a lot of people are like, oh, the government wouldn't do that. Oh, that's crazy talk.
These are the people that are supposed to protect you?
Yeah, and it's wild to me that people are so, like...
pro-government.
Yeah! I don't even know, man. Ugh.
When you can just take a small chunk out of your day and look into stuff, and you will find, like, unless you are so truly, like, in your own fantasy land that even seeing facts and citable sources and reliable sources saying and confirming all these awful things about the government, like, and you still are like, oh no, that's not true, then there's no hope for you, okay? I'm sorry.
It's like the people who
learn to think for yourself.
It's like the people who think that, all around the country we're having, laws restricting abortion access and stuff like that. And there's genuinely so many people out there who think, oh, there's somebody who's dying and they're literally the only chance at saving their life is to get an abortion. People literally don't believe that that's actually going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, girl, just because you don't think it's ethical doesn't mean the government won't do it.
Yeah. It's so gross. And people are so happy with, like, being ignorant and remaining that way.
Patriotism!
To what? People, start thinking for yourselves. Do your own research. And I think you'll probably want to shit on America a little bit, too.
I hope so.
I hope so. If you don't, then, like I said, I don't know what else what hope is left for you. Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. All right. Well, that was lovely. Thank you for that, and thank you, America.
I hope God smites America.
I thought you were going to say, I hope God smites us.
I hope God smites, not us.
The two of us here in this podcast room.
Pearl.
God, I can't stop bringing up the Titan.
The Titan.
Anyway, I guess I'll get into mine now.
Get into it, yeah.
I have a creepy little story for you. A little mystery / a little true crime, a little weird occurrence. This is about twins Sabina and Ursula Eriksson. They are identical twins born in Sweden on November 3rd, 1967.
Are they still alive? I don't know. You said one sentence and I already cut you off.
No, I think they are. I mean, unless they died.
What's happening?
I wrote this a while ago, so I was trying to remember. I feel like it was basically like no one has really heard from them since all this happened.
I think maybe it's like we've already recorded one episode. It's been a few hours. We're in the studio. It's warm in here. But anyway, I think so, unless they die. That's typically the case.
If you can believe that.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not okay.
Ooh, it's okay. I interrupted so many fucking times during your thing. Okay. In May of 2008, Ursula, who was living in the U.S. at the time, had decided to visit her sister in Ireland, where she lived with her husband and their 2 children. Within 24 hours of Ursula's arrival in Ireland, the twins depart for Liverpool, England, allegedly by ferry. There's no witnesses to confirm, but that's like the common way of getting from A to B from that spot. The twins, cool. When they arrive in England, went to the St. Anne's Street police station around 8:30 a.m. to report concern for Sabina's children back home. A lot of the articles and stuff said this, but they didn't really say why or give any context for that.
Wait, so Sis comes to visit, then they immediately pair up and then leave. Sis leaves her children.
And then when they get back, she's like, hey.
She's like, holla.
Police. And then it was
help my kids. Because I'm not there anymore. Bye.
The Liverpool police contacted the Dublin police and confirmed that the kids were safe. The twins then boarded a coach bus headed towards London at around 11:30 a.m. Stating that they were unwell, Sabina and Ursula got off the bus at Kiel services around 1 p.m. The bus driver noted their behavior as odd and mildly concerning. They were clutching to their purses and refused to let him search them. So he was like, I'm not letting you guys back on here. This is fucking weird. The rest stop manager was also concerned about the twins' erratic behavior and actually called the police. But after speaking briefly with the girls, they were deemed harmless and the police went on their way. This was a mistake. Sabina and Ursula start walking down the center median, which was fenced on either side. Like, between the highway lanes.
Oh.
Before hopping the fence and literally flinging themselves directly into traffic.
Oh.
Sabina was instantly hit by a car, but managed to get up and get to the side of the road with Ursula.
Are you kidding me? She John Wicked that shit?
Yeah.
She hops over the fence. She gets hit by a car on the highway, gets up, and then goes to the other side. What?
Girl, what? Highways Agency, now known as National Highways, responded to the scene and the local police were called in. As authorities were evaluating the situation, Ursula ran back out into the road where she's hit by a semi that's going nearly 60 miles per hour.
Ursula! She wasn't the one that was hit before, was she?
No, Sabina was hit first. And then Sabina also dashed back into the road and was hit head-on by a car going at high speed.
What the fuck is happening?
Somehow, they both survived.
No, you're fucking kidding. They both John Wicked that shit? They both, it wasn't just one time at that point. Sabina got hit twice.
Literally.
Ursula got hit by a fucking semi-truck?
This isn't like a little calm residential neighborhood. On a highway? On a fucking highway.
And they survived.
Ursula couldn't walk as the semi had crushed her legs.
No shit.
And she was resisting care from police and medics by scratching, screaming, and spitting at them.
Did they have a death wish or something?
Sorry.
What a strange...
bizarre. During this, Sabina was passed out for about 15 minutes. When she came to, she screamed at Ursula, "They're going to steal your organs."
What?
She was trying to get up off of the ground and was screaming, to their confusion, for the police and for help, which was literally surrounding them.
The police and help was there already.
After getting hit by 2 cars in quick succession, she managed to break free from the officer that's tending to her, punching said officer in the face, and once again jumping the barricade and flinging herself back into traffic.
What is fucking going on?
But she wasn't hit or anything that time.
Jesus Christ, if you said she was hit and survived again, I literally...
A few officers and several civilians were able to catch up with her and all helped to restrain and carry her to an ambulance. It took basically 6 people to wrangle this one woman who was like pretty petite from what I could tell from pictures and stuff, that had just been hit by 2 cars. Girl!
Were they like fucking possessed or something? Like, maybe. What the hell?
One of the policemen said, quote, "When I look back on it, her strength was phenomenal," end quote.
What the fuck?
Ursula had been airlifted to a hospital and they took Sabina to a different hospital, I believe, where her whole demeanor changed, and she calmed down quite a bit and was even joking with hospital staff. There was no evidence of drugs or other substances in either twin.
What?
She was released, Sabina, I think we're talking about Sabina here.
So they were completely sober, but still acting like they were on fucking DMT.
Like, they were literally on meth.
Like, literally DMT or something like that. Like, what? Because that shit apparently can make somebody, like, a fucking superhuman. Like, get really? Shot multiple times and still be going at you.
I've heard that meth, heard and seen that meth can really give you some superhuman strength. Superhuman strength. But yeah, no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. Not that alcohol would make it easy to get hit by 2 cars and stand right back up.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was released into police custody 5 hours later, where she remained relaxed. While being processed, she told one of the officers, quote, "We say in Sweden that an accident rarely comes alone. Usually at least one more follows, maybe 2, end quote.
Well, that's eerie and creepy as shit.
Also, during intake, they asked her if she had ever previously tried to harm herself, and her reply was, "No, I would never do that."
What?
She was released the next day after pleading guilty to trespassing on the highway and hitting a police officer. They did not give her a full mental evaluation, and as her sentence was 1 day served in police custody, and she had already stayed there overnight, they released her.
Why didn't they give her a full mentee evaluation?
I don't know.
After all of that, being completely sober.
And then completely changing her whole attitude.
And saying, I would never do that. Literally after doing that. And you don't give her a full evaluation? What the fuck?
After being released, Sabina began to wander the streets with her belongings in a clear plastic bag that the police had given her.
She was like the ant with the stick in the bag.
Yes, exactly. 2 men were walking home from the pub when I was redoing these notes. I took out some stuff and put some stuff in or whatever. So it says 2 men were walking home from the pub with Glenn's dog. Okay, their names are Glenn and Peter. I don't know what I did there.
Who's Glenn?
Glenn had a dog. They were walking with Glenn's dog.
All right.
When Sabina struck up conversation with them, petting Glenn's dog and asking for directions to nearby B&Bs. She was acting super nervous and weird, which concerned Peter, but after hearing that she was searching for the hospital that her sister was at, Glenn took pity on her and offered his home for the night.
Ugh.
She accepted, and the 3 of them went back to the house.
Why not just say, yeah, B&B's down the road?
Literally, like...
That's kind of creepy. I might send a note to the cops.
Or something? Like... Throughout the night, Sabina's behavior was increasingly bizarre. She kept getting up to peek out of the windows. She would offer them cigarettes only to snatch them out of their mouth and say they're probably poisoned, even though she was literally smoking cigarettes from the same pack.
What is...
Not once did she mention what happened on the highway, nor did she mention any pain or discomfort, which is just... absolutely.
Naturally. Just another Tuesday.
Just another Tuesday. Peter left just before midnight, and Sabina and Glenn went to sleep. The following day, Glenn kindly helps her out by calling around to local hospitals in an attempt to locate Ursula. Later in the day, around 7:40 p.m., he pops over to a neighbor's house to borrow some tea and then goes back inside his home. A minute later, he comes out again, staggering and gushing blood.
What?
And he dies right there after having been stabbed 5 times with a knife from his own kitchen.
What the fuck?
Talk about Glenn for just a moment.
Glenn!
He was a 54-year-old self-employed welder, a certified paramedic, a former Royal Air Force pilot. His brother later said about the tragedy, quote, Glenn saw Eriksson in distress and was just trying to help. He wasn't slow in coming forward to help somebody in distress. It was in his nature. He was trying to help.
Yeah,
he would help
he was a paramedic.
Anybody. If he saw a fight in the street and a guy was losing, he would help. Such a sweet man.
R.I.P. Glenn.
Glenn?
No, that's...
honestly, like, the true tragedy of this story. It's, like, literally why.
For
we
what?
don't really get an answer, but I will continue on.
And wait, this is Sabina.
This is Sabina.
Still, right?
Ursula, she still doesn't... she can't find Ursula yet. She doesn't know what hospital she's in.
Why didn't they do a full mental evaluation?
Why didn't they at least be like, hey, this is where your sister's at?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Gosh.
As the neighbor called emergency services, Sabina got the fuck out of Dodge. She had taken a hammer with her, and a passing driver noticed that she was hitting herself in the head with it repeatedly as she ran.
What?
He stopped, another good citizen, he stopped and attempted to get the hammer out of her hands and subdue her.
Did she?
Screaming, she pulls a roof tile out of her pocket and bashes him in the head with it. He's fine, but it stuns him enough to where she can run away. At this point, authorities are already in pursuit. The neighbor had called the police. So the pursuit ends when Sabina jumps off of a 40-foot bridge onto the highway below, breaking both ankles and fracturing her skull.
I'm
genuinely still in shock.
What is going on? There's no way this... When did this all happen?
2008.
2008? What the fuck?
On June 6th, my birthday, 2008, she was arrested while recovering at the hospital, and 3 months later, on September 11th, she was discharged in a wheelchair, taken into custody, and charged with murder that same day.
Yeah.
Ursula was also discharged from the hospital in September and relocated quietly back to the U.S. Sabina's trial began on the 1st of September the following year, and on the 2nd, she pled guilty to manslaughter due to diminished responsibility, which is a defense that reduces a sentence from murder to manslaughter in certain cases where there is abnormal mental function that makes the defendant have a loss of control over their actions. All throughout the whole trial, the whole thing, and even in interrogation beforehand, Sabina offered nothing to explain her actions, only saying no comment.
Okay.
Both the defense and the prosecution stated that they believed Sabina was a secondary sufferer of a rare disorder called folie à deux, which is also known as shared psychosis or shared delusional disorder. It is defined by two people closely related, usually family, suffering from the same or similar delusions. Extensive research has shown cases of this phenomenon that can involve 3, 4, 5 people, even a whole family. In the 5th and most recent update of the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, this phenomenon has been removed from the delusional disorders section and placed into a different one where it is defined as delusional symptoms in a partner of an individual with a delusional disorder, which is confusing as hell. But yeah, so Sabina was sentenced to 5 years in prison, of which she had already served 439 days, making her eligible for parole for the first time in 2011, at which time she was released and went back to Sweden. Nobody knows what the fuck that was all about. The end.
What? I don't have any words. Okay, so what the fuck? She was also the one that got hit twice by a car.
Yes.
She got hit, stood up, ran to the other side to her sister. Then
she was the one who got hit by a semi, right?
Then Ursula got hit by a semi, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe, and then she runs back out, gets hit again. She's the one that punches the cop too, right? and has to be, like, 6 people have to grab her.
And then jumps off of a fucking bridge.
And then she goes to the hospital overnight, doesn't get a menti check.
Starts acting normal for some weird fucking reason. Starts acting normal
for a second. And then starts looking out the windows, saying her cigarettes are poisoned, kills a man by stabbing him 5 times, runs away, smacks herself in the head with a hammer repeatedly while she's running, grabs a roof tile, smashes it against someone's head again, then jumps off a 40-foot fucking bridge onto a highway, and you're telling me she didn't, like, mosquito on a windshield that shit? She didn't splat or get hit again?
No, I'm like, how do you survive 2 consecutive car crashes and then that?
Hitting yourself with a hammer in the head just that alone? Like... No, after it's getting, like, oh yeah, yesterday I was hit by 2 cars.
Yeah, and then the fact that she doesn't say jack shit about that when she's
no comment. Girl, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. Do you have any other theories about, like, what it could have been besides the shared delusional disorder?
Well, I feel like if like, that does make sense in a way, you know, like, because they were twins, right?
Well, and there were twins, and, like, there was basically, like, no previous behavior, no previous, not to public knowledge, at least, of anything like that would explain. Yeah, exactly. No mental.
Because if they did, like,
it would have been a lot different of a story. Maybe not a lot different of a story, but, like, it would offer some context.
Something, contextually, like, contextually. And that's not to say that, like, mental illness equals fucking insanity and, like, self-harm.
No, not at all.
And harming others. Like...
But, like, if you have a history of any kind of...
some sort of violence or, like, some sort
of... violence against yourself, violence against other people, mania, like,
any sort of mania or anything like that, that would at least give some sort of context. But they just were... regular, like, people that it seemed like it just, like, fucking exploded when they got together in Ireland.
And I wish there was more, like,
and then immediately just
like, why were they going to London? Where were they going?
Where were they going?
Where were they taking this bus specifically to, like...
Yeah. Like, why did she ditch her family?
And then why was she concerned about her children?
Then leave immediately. Where are you going?
Girl.
What are you doing? Because even if it was, like, some weird, like, suicide pact or something, like, why travel that far? And why choose just, like, a random highway
as your... Yeah.
Like...
And, like, what would have happened if they stayed on the bus?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, there's not enough, like, there's not, like, interviews with them or anything like that. There's no...
Yeah. There has to be information missing that exists.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there's no logical explanation for that.
Exactly.
That's why I said, I was like, was she, like, demonically possessed or something? Because, like, it sounds like that sort of shit, especially getting fucking hit and injured that many times and just getting back up. Motherfucking John Wick
Jeeper Creepers type vibe.
That's so
still
weird.
Haven't seen that, but...
Yeah, we still need to watch that.
I watched that with Tess
Slasher Summer.
Slasher Summer.
I'm ready to watch more Scream and spooky shit. Get it.
Oh, I was actually thinking about that, watching a spooky movie tonight. But anyway, yeah, that's my crazy-ass story. Honestly, always, like, ever since I first heard of that story, I've been fascinated by it.
So strange, yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like is warranted, because that...
There's no logical explanation.
So weird. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
For sharing. Yeah. That was a story that I had heard once before, a long time ago. So I'm glad to have that refresher, and I truly did not remember all of those details.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Even me reading it again after writing the whole thing, I'm like, she did that?
Gripping.
She went back out into the road?
What the heck?
Why would she do that? Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to follow us on any social media, you can find us at Rants and Rabbit Trails Pod.
On Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. And we hope you enjoyed the episode today. If you did, go and find us on Instagram or TikTok. Leave a comment on our episode preview post for today's episode. And tell us what part was your favorite.
Tell us which part spooked you.
Tell us. Anyway, girl, bye. Bye, girl, bye.